Welcome everyone. The topic of discussion in this particular video is path, goal, and great man theory is what we are looking around it. The path, goal, and a great man theory is a very short and a sweet presentation that will be given out here. It was developed by Robert House, the path goal theory, a theory which describes how a leader can motivate their followers to achieve their individual goals, their team goals, and the organizational goals, for which you have to display a certain kinds of behavior the leader can engage to motivate the followers, as the case might be. Robert House was the proponent of the path goal theories altogether. Let us understand with the what exactly is path goal theory. It is how a leader motivates their followers to understand and probably accomplish designated goals, as the case might be. The stated goals of leadership is to enhance employee performance, employee satisfaction by focusing on employee motivation, emphasis that the relationship between the leader style and characteristics of the follower and the work setting. Remember, the leader must use the style to best meet the follower motivational needs. Remember, as a leader, you should distinguish what an individual employees are looking for, what are their requirements, what are their needs. If you can address those needs and requirements, probably the followers would enable you to achieve the organizational goal thereby. Guidelines for path goal theory determines what outcomes subordinates are trying to obtain in the workplace. You need to ascertain this thing. You remember, everybody has their own individual agenda. In fact, every time an individual basically achieves their objectives, their goals, can you reward them? Can you appreciate them? Can you put a pat on their back in a public forum? Probably that will only lead for make them work stringently towards achieving much more higher performances. Now that is what we are looking at it. Reward subordinates for performing at a higher level, achieving the work goals by giving them the desired outcomes. Make sure subordinate believes that they can obtain the work goals and perform at a high level. Now, how do you ensure that the subordinates can achieve their goals? By probably assisting them, supporting them, and providing them with resources so that they can achieve the goals at time. Now, this is what the path goal theory is all about. It now, as a leaders, what should be their behaviors? And leaders can be of directive leaders, the supportive leaders, the participative leaders. We are looking for leadership behaviors which are goal oriented, being a directive, being supportive or participative, or better if it is an achievement oriented leadership. Note, Robert House said what? They said leaders have to be flexible, as the case might be. They can display any of the behaviors, but it should match the situation. The situation should warrant the leadership desired behavior, as in being directive or supportive, as in being authoritative or participative, as in being concerned for people or concerned for the task, as the case might be. That is the behavior that Robert House stated. The and probably said that the leader should take into account the situation to achieve a particular behavior. So subordinate characteristics, what are they? They are the need for affiliation, prefer supportive leadership, preferences for structure. Now this is where we need to understand what are the preferences that we go for. Prefer directive leadership, desire of control, prefer participative leadership, as the case might be, self-perceived level of taskability, prefer achievement oriented leadership, as on when on basis the subordinate characteristic, as has been stated around here. We need to ensure that an employee would love to have affirmations and appreciation from seniors in the organization. They would love to bask on the glories. They should be ensured that their preferences, their work accomplishments are being recognized and probably rewarded. So prefer a directive leadership. In terms of control, can we have a participative leadership? As far as the subordinate characteristic is concerned, self-perceived level of task ability, prefer achievement oriented leadership in the cases. So let us proceed with the path goal theory. Remember, we are talking of leadership, be it the instrumental leadership, be it the supportive leadership, be it the participative leadership or achievement oriented leadership. Now, these are various styles of leadership, or should I say, various behaviors of leadership that comes across it. What does Robert House stated in path goal theory? Robert House stated or mandated that a leader should follow any of these styles of leadership as far as instrumental leadership, supportive, participative, achievement oriented leaderships are concerned. And probably they should tune it, fine tune it to the requirement of their followers, fine tune it to the requirement of the situation, so as to they achieve the goal in unison in the most effective fashion. Let me tell you how it works in terms of the leaders behaviors of direct leadership. It provides guidance and psychological support. What does it goes to? It to the group members who are dogmatic and authoritarian. The task characteristics are ambiguous, unclear rules, and complex. So if this is the case which comes around it, if people are not very sure about what are the rules and complex, so you be a directive leadership. People are dogmatic, they are fixated upon a position, they would love to be instructed before they can move an inch. Please behave like a directive and authoritarian leadership. But when the group members are unsatisfied, need affiliation, sense of belonging, sense of love, need human touch, probably the task characteristics are repetitive, regular, routine, unchallenging, mundane. We require supportive leadership. This is a time where you should provide nurturance altogether. It is that we talk about it. But what happens when the group members are autonomous? They would love to flex their autonomy. They would love to display the freedom, need for control or clarity is there. Or should I say the task characters is ambiguous? Again, unclear and unstructured. What happens in this case? You need to be a participative leader wherein it provides a enriching environment altogether. Now the fourth sections of of the group members, they can have a high expectation, they are highly motivated, they are deliberately duly skilled, so you have the need to excel. The task characteristics might be challenging, might be complex, might be ambitious or ambiguous. What comes around it now is the case, the leader has to be achievement oriented. Now the leader should be providing incremental challenges and should ensure that the followers or the employees can manage those skills level altogether. So past goal theories, what are the advantages? It helps. Remember, path goal theory helps in understanding how a leader behavior affects subordinate satisfaction, work performance, deal directly with the motivation. The one of the only theories to address this, provides a very practical model, makes a clear path and follow it directly as the case might be, provides a very practical model. These are the advantages of path goal theories. Robert House, proponent of this particular theory, was everything legible and practical as in the cases. And he never said you should be fixated on one particular style. He said according to the situation, adapt your styles altogether. And that is the advantages, deals directly with motivation, and one of the only theories to address this. Let's say the disadvantages before we wind up this presentation on path goal theory and great man theory as such. This is a very complex theory because not everybody can understand, adapt himself or herself with the situation. In fact, many a times people might fail to read the situation, so that makes this theory very complex, of uh, and incorporates so many aspects of leadership. Research only partially supports this theory, as the case might be, fails to explain adequately the relationship between leader behavior and subordinate motivation. A direct correlation cannot be drawn in this theory. You know, in the Robert House path goal theory, it is the onus of the leaders, the visions of the leaders, which will enable this particular theory to be successful. And treat leadership as a one-way street, places a majority of responsibility on the leaders as such. If you go across it, you will come to understand that leadership is, the whole onus has been placed on that thing, on leadership. It places a major responsibility with no or little or minuscule level of responsibilities or attention being given to the follower, which might not be true. In fact, the quality of followers will will enable an enriched leader to guide them, to lead them. What will happen? It assumes in this particular path goal theory, it assumes that the followers are like a rudderless boat. They don't have any aims. They are waiting to be instructed. They are not adequately skilled and so on. So as a result, this is the only demerit that comes around with path goal theory. With this, I would love to wind up this presentation on path goal, great man theories of Robert House, as the case might be. Thank you once again for watching this video.